I picked up this aggro Ryan playstyle, which loses sometimes, pretty hardcore. But I want to just be that frontline shield for the team. I like that feeling, and I like trying to take advantage of the hammer damage that I don't think many other Rhines do, because it's pretty sick. So that's the kind of playstyle I've had. Winston he used to be something I enjoyed, but with all the stuns, it's really, really tough for me to.
And Hanzo destroys him. So
Yeah. And Orisa, I've gotten better at, but I like to focus on Ryan.
Right.
So.
I find Orisa to be honestly a little bit boring as well. So here's the thing with Reinhardt. Like you were saying, a lot of people don't utilize that aggressive Reinhardt. And the reason why it is because it's difficult to, especially if you're with supports that you don't trust. But something that can make your life easier is, rather than looking at it from like a complex mystical standpoint of, hey, you can be aggressive with Reinhardt, you just have to know when how to. Well, I'm just going to tell you how to. There are a couple rules that you have to follow when you're aggressive with Reinhardt. You have to communicate it. You have to check your health pool. It's also helpful to make sure that you have a little bit of shield. If you have a Zarya and she has bubble, go in with there.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's rather than just kind of like getting a feel for it, because that takes many hours and that will come with time, it's also better to set short standard rules of when you should be aggressive and when you should not be. So what I'm going to try and do with this team composition is not just analyze it from a very passive third party perspective, but I'm going to see how this team composition relates to you and how it's going to affect your playstyle, because it is an unfortunate fact that as a fellow aggressive Reinhardt player, there are certain team comps that do not facilitate your aggression very much, and you do have to play a little bit more rectangle, still very cognitively aware, and still very focused, and it's still an advanced Reinhardt play, but less aggressive, I guess. So let's look at what we have here and go from there. So like looking at composition, before I analyze it, I want you to analyze it. Tell me what we got here.
Okay. So the Zarya bubble is going to provide a little protection on the aggressive pushes.
Yes.
So it allows you to play a little forward.
Right. Specifically, like talk about how this relates to you, and then we can kind of go over it as a whole.
The Tracer is not really going to relate to me as much, I would think, on the surface level. She seems like she's incapable of being babysitted, that she should be aware. The Brigitte should protect me in the Reinhardt mirror. The McCree is the source of most of our damage, so I need to be making sure he's protected, and the Mercy does Mercy things, but should provide consistent heals if needed.
Right.
But hopefully, just the Brigitte can keep me up. Hopefully.
Okay. So what I'm gonna ask you, what might be a tough question. I'm gonna see what you can do with it. Right. Looking at your DPS and your tanks and etc. Do you think that you're gonna be playing a little bit more of a selectively aggro Reinhardt? Do you think you're gonna be playing more for the winning the shield war, or do you think that you're just gonna have to play a little bit passive and wait for your DPS to get picks? Because I think this
kind of looks like, now that I think about it, it kind of looks like a pit comp, because the Tracer's there and McCree's like burst damage.
You could play it that way, but let me ask you flat out: can you win a shield war with it? Can you win a shield war?
No,
you can't.
I don't think so.
No, you don't have a Hanzo. You don't have a Zenyatta. So I would flat out say that you can't win the shield war. So it's either going to be a pit comp where you're just protecting your team as best as you can, or you are going to have to be selectively aggressive, preferably when she is in position to follow up on anything you can do, and also preferably when these three have their cooldowns, because Flashbang, Bubbles obviously, and Shield Bash are going to be lifesavers for you. Even her E ability, which I don't know what that is on console, but her range heal is going.
That's R1.
R1 is a very important cooldown for you to be aware of. So anyway, this is going to be a little bit more of an aggro composition. A little bit less patient. We'll see how you deal with it. It's difficult on defense because like you don't want to give away your position, but you also just can't let them push for eternity. So you do have to dictate where you want to take a fight. And so with Hollywood, not Hollywood, holy cow, Route 66. Sometimes a lot of times people will pick fights here. I usually prefer it here. That way my supports can still be in a safe position, whereas here they're kind of out in no man's land. But it doesn't really matter. It's mostly just important that you're fighting as a team.
Yeah. I think I try to discuss that with them, and they want to hold corner, and I'm not going to be the one man standing alone drowning.
Right.
So.
No, I agree. 100% agree with that.
Yeah. I was just saying, hey, let's go up to the garage for a sec, maybe.
Yeah.
And they weren't having it, so.
That's all right.
This is proof to me that I need to stick with the group. Overall, like playing, I need to stick with them. If we're at all successful, I need to try to gel a little bit
Yep. Yeah.
because I don't. Forewarning, the Zarya working with me is iffy this game.
Right. So what can you do? Like right off the bat, let's just get some preventative talks and see if you do this, which you probably won't. What could you do if your Zarya is not functioning as well with you? Before, like I'm talking like the first fight and it fails. What do you do? Or even preventatively, like before the game even starts. Just real basic stuff. Like using communication. What could you say?
I could try to tell them. I could try to provide as much communication as possible, I guess.
I mean, the biggest thing is just simply asking questions because every player has a playstyle and go like, "Hey, Zarya, like, are you cool with like kind of giving me your bubbles whenever you got them? Do you want me to work? Do you want me to give you charge? What can I do to like help you? Like, do you think that you're gonna be saving your bubbles for other people?" And when you phrase it like that, it's very non-aggressive, very like, "Hey, what do you want to do? What can I do to help you?" And then you change your playstyle. If she goes, "No, I want to bubble trace," so you're like, "Okay, well." Yeah. All right, but that's fine. But then at least you have that information, and so you're not going to go around swinging your hammer expecting bubble, which I have done before, and you just get destroyed, right?
Yeah.
And then if you go, hey, if you ask that question, and she goes, "Oh, okay, I need to be saving bubbles for you," then it's kind of like a reminder, "Hey, listen, but save your bubbles for you." And then at that point, you can kind of go, "Hey, Zarya, do you have bubbles? Zarya, do you have bubble?" Like that's really your biggest question you'll be asking here is like focusing on this number right here and remembering when your Zarya has bubble.
Yeah.
People do not realize how important that bubble is.
D.Va's behind you guys. He's coming up to us.
I would avoid swinging at a D.Va like that when you have red already in front of you.
Okay.
Dive tanks are kind of tricky with Reinhardt because you kind of have to decide if I want to punish the dive tanks because you can absolutely abuse D.Vas and Winstons when you get swinging. But then you're thinking like, what is everything here? And usually like this is more of a threat than what's behind you.
Am I protecting the primary source of damage?
Right.
That was from your video.
Exactly. And so sometimes you'll have dive tanks that will dive onto high ground, right? And then your team is kind of on the back, so the low ground on this, talking specifically in this map, the low ground doesn't really have a vision onto the high ground. So that situation you can drop and swing, absolutely. Especially if they're running like a Genji that dives on top of you, because that's another source of damage that's in your backline. But in this, we've got a lot of DPS in the low ground, so you want to handle that first. Thank you for the follow, Sunjun Overwatch. Oh, I know who you are. Never mind. Thought it was somebody cool. All right, and we're going for a ride. We really needed to kind of fall back here.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so first thing first is, so this is something that you and I are going to both work on. We're going to work on our health point awareness. So Mercy's healing whoever's getting dove in the back with the D.Va, right? We're low.
Yeah.
And we start to get really aggressive. And the biggest problem I have with this is it happened, like we got Zarya bubble instead of actually thinking about what our health points were at. We just kind of go, oh, we're Zarya bubble, we're going to start swinging. Because your Zarya does bubble you here, but I want to look where you're bubbled. You're already at 400 HP.
Oh.
That's not really the time to be moving forward. You need to be giving up a little bit of space until your team can deal with a D.Va threat in the backline. Now your team does deal with a D.Va max, so this is big. We countercharge. It's a good countercharge. It's just like as a whole here, we held the space too hard, a little too hard. We should have fallen back just a little bit, considering what was in our backline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad move. The countercharge was, but just a little too aggressive. And your Brigitte fell for the same mistake. Then she's dead now. So that's not your fault. But you are responsible for your own life here. Again, we get bubbled.
I got the bubble. Yeah.
Right. So like you have to understand that like when you get bubbled, that doesn't always mean aggression. Doesn't always. Sometimes a bubble is just to assist you in escaping, and that's 100%. That's 100% dependent upon your HP, your teammates. And really like what DPS you're running into. So like if you're going into and you're just like you're getting bubbled into a Zen Mercy, like go crazy and swing. But like if their entire team is there, like that's a big no. Right? Get out. If you're already down your Brigitte and your Tracer's just now back, well you're already down one, so I don't know about that. And if you're at like half hit points, then that's already another X there.
Gotcha.
So we did not give up enough space there. Like, that is the most... People always talk about, like, oh, take space as tank. But, like, that is a very easy concept to understand. Something that is in that basic Reinhardt guide. But once you get to a certain level, it becomes more about knowing when you have to give space just to stay alive so you can re-engage and take a fight without feeding. And that is probably the most advanced, difficult concept to grasp as a main tank. I really did not like that fire strike. You tell me why.
Because it was more like a prediction strike, and I could have had someone sitting still on the top that I could have got damage on.
You did have somebody sitting still. Right. It was a prediction strike, which is fine, but always predict strikes at fat people. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's ult charge is so important with Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Unlucky. I kind of like the charge. I was a little bit hesitant because we were already down a couple, but it was a good idea. It was a good idea.
When I hear another Reinhardt charge, my lips start to I start to like lick my lips, just like, all right, if he's out of position, I want to charge him.
Right. That's not a bad thing. Predictive, but you didn't really need to do that. Tell me why.
No. Because it's a D.Va.
I mean,
there's not a ton of threat, but that D.Va just could have ate it.
You're thinking too hard.
I am.
Yep.
I didn't need to do it because I already have ult. That's what it is. Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to follow up on that damage because you can't hold.
No way.
Can't possibly hold here. So. That Brigida is crazy, and so are you. But you honestly have more of a right to be crazy because you get more hit points. So honestly, I don't have a problem with that as much because he did.
I'm gonna fire strike again.
Okay, it's okay. I could smell it. I could see it going right.
Trigger warning.
Right. Yeah. Right. I don't have a problem with you charging up there as much. If the Junkrat's gonna engage there, and you know that trap has already been used, I mean, sure, it's ballsy, but you have that big landscape obstruction right behind him, so even if you miss your charge, you're not too far out. Risky charge, but it's all about like making aggressive plays if you want to, but making sure they're not completely stupid. Ooh, that's dangerous. Nice fire strike. Why do I not have a problem with that fire strike?
Because it's a juicy target, maybe.
I mean, that has absolutely nothing.
Oh, it forced the trans or what?
I mean, that is just sheer luck. But but he is in line of fire. He is in danger right now. So you're damaging somebody who can be killed, basically. And so I don't have a problem with you, quote unquote, feeding ult charge if it's something that you can kill with a fire strike. You know what I'm saying? That would be like, oh, they're trying. Look, the Reinhardt's 5 HP. He's running back to his spawn. Oh, I don't want to fire strike him because I don't want to feed ult charge. No, you can kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so this is really stupid if there's Zenyatta, but I mean, that is this is the correct idea with the Did you block that shot or what happened there?
I cannot remember.
It looked like that's fine. Honestly, if he's just distracted, just punish him. Careful, HP. That's fine. That's okay.
Took too long to kill him because the Mercy Beam was on him.
Yeah, it happens. Whoopsies. That's one of those moments where you get what's called the Reinhardt, I say. Reinhardt bloodlust. You're like, he can die,
Especially when I'm trying to alpha the other Rein.
Yeah. So just a small thing here. Well, let's see what happens first. Okay, we're okay. Okay, so again, we have to ask ourselves, what should be our decision right now? I want you to tell me right now, because you have enough information on your screen pretty much right now, especially considering what happened earlier. Tracer was here, remember? And it was like...
We could be... Well, I see, if I had a better eye on the kill cam, I know the Zen's res, so we're pretty much even in the fight.
Not really. No. Tracer has died already.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's okay. And Tracer had died. Your McCree has died. The one pick, your Tracer, or whoever got it, I didn't notice, has been resurrected. Now your D.Va is demeched, but that basically means
that the enemy D.Va is demeched.
Yes, the enemy D.Va is demeched. So you're only down 1. So this is again like, do we really want to be this like upfront with our aggressive holding?
Yeah.
Like
they died.
Fall back.
Tracer must have died a while ago.
Yeah.
Or something.
Fall back a little bit. Give them this corner. Tell your team what, and then like your Tracer will be back momentarily, and then you can take a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you're not running Zarya anymore as well.
I think we are. I just haven't noticed.
I don't think you are.
Okay.
This is why.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
So
That wasn't the Zarya. I think that was the Brigida maybe,
really
which
okay.
is even
Well,
worse. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, again, that means that what does that mean to us then?
We have less healing, so we don't
Less
have
healing
a right.
or less protection, one or the other. So it means that we have to play a little bit more passive, basically, because our team is relying less off of our performance and more off of us not making mistakes. This is one of those mistakes. So
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, they're Junkrat as well. Oh, amazing.
You heard it. I could hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Dang, a lot of damage.
Yep. Yeah, thanks, Sherlock. I appreciate that one. That was a genius observation. Like, you have to look at this fight and go, not to be that guy, but if you had simply waited for your Tracer to come back,
We had it.
your Reaper had killed the baby D.Va. You didn't need...
And when I die, look how quick Tracer comes back, though.
Look.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you didn't need to force a play here.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't win that brawl. Alrighty.
Side note.
Do you see this? Do you see? Okay, so and then look what happens kill feed wise. Like bang, bang, everybody dies. All right, so cool. So we might be able to recontest here. It'll be cutting it close, and hopefully our team doesn't die because there's still a few like little chevrons running around out there. I think it's just that's no good.
That was jeez. Oh, this is like looking at old school pictures.
Your Mercy's back. Your Zarya's back. Your Zarya,
Yep, dude. Staggered.
your Zarya probably has graph. You know? Yikes. You had ults.
It's on me.
You had ults.
That's on me.
Yeah. It's just forcing plays. Like I could just sense your desperation of like, I gotta make a play or nothing's gonna happen. But you really didn't. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't have to make a play. All you needed to do was just stay alive. Like it wasn't on the corner. We're not talking like, overtime push. You just have to be there. And you have to just live a little longer. So all right, let's go ahead and talk what we're doing wrong right now. Okay, never mind. I know what's happening. So I'm about to yell at you for Junkrat, like, spamming on the choking, but like I know what's happening here.
I'm trying, but
I'm trying to think. Okay, so you don't have the Brigida anymore. Okay. Now why is that important? Why did I say that with what you're about
I don't
to
have the
do?
Brigade anymore, so it's we're gonna have to break the shield to make it a consistent ult.
Right,
pretty much.
because shield bash, they don't have a Zarya, so they can't stop the shield bash. Okay. And,
Whenever I see him at full shield, what I'm trying to do is listen for Fire Strike and see the animation. That's kind of what I'm kind of trying to queue for.
because that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
That's so dirty. Charge. I'm gonna go and be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, and we commit grab. That feels bad.
Yeah.
So like the way you want to kind of like, so like let's I'm not gonna pull up Blizzard as tempting it is. The way you follow through with Shatter is just as a basic standpoint. Shatter, swing. You want to crouch, Fire Strike, and you want to hit as many people with Fire Strike.
Crouch.
And the reason why you crouch is because what you do is you set, like, if you Fire Strike at an angle, you kind of come here. And so the hitbox is, like, here, right?
Yeah.
But if you crouch, that arrow, I'm actually going to draw an actual arrow, becomes here. So it kind of scrapes along the ground a little bit longer, for lack of a better word. And so the hitbox actually expands.
Gotcha.
So worth noting. Also, always try and charge. Not always, but usually you do want to charge at the end of a Shatter because it's another free kill, usually.
It commits to ult charge? Like, that's what...
Yes, and it does. It's usually at the end of the stun, which means you get, like, what is it, 10, 12, 15? Maybe is it 20%? I can't remember how much you get from a pin.
Yeah.
Something like that. And so it's extra ult charge. It's another secured kill. And if one guy is already down here, chances are that you're not going to be punished for it.
Yeah.
So,
when I see the Zarya graph, I pretty much go into ult charge mode.
Yeah.
Because I know that's like a huge...
That's huge. Beautiful. That's a complete waste of trance as well. Complete waste of trance. She's just completely feeding you. That's a feels bad from their end.
Yep.
I mean, look at her ult. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I already have 60%.
I already have 60%. That's hilarious.
Oh, the McCree. I don't like the McCree.
Your team. Okay, so this is one of those moments where I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so ignoring what's happening right here, like this is one of those moments where this is a mistake on you. Now, I feel bad.
I wasn't shielding him.
No, why I feel bad for you though, and why do I feel bad for you?
Well, he's gonna make me have to move really far forward.
Right. He is
do
not.
it, but-
Now he's not pulled back fast enough. You go forward, you throw a fire strike because you know you guys are up a couple, but you're gonna pull back to the safe corner, right?
Yeah.
Problem is your McCree overstays its welcome, but you do have to play like a dummy to help out your teammates sometimes, right? It is better to take a fight here than to take a 5v6 or a 4v6 back here. Like that's just how you have to think about these things. So you need to be comfortable with overextending just to save a teammate here.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a support who should be playing backline as much as possible and letting teammates die if they need to just to stay alive, yes. But don't be like completely out of line of sight of your entire team just because you have a good positioning. You have to adjust. This charge is crazy. You're nuts. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
See that it? Yeah. I didn't check the follow up there, but it felt so clean.
I know. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, that was a nice charge. That was a nice shatter. You're stupid as all get out, but you know, whatever. Good. I mean, I appreciate the juiciness of it, for lack of a better adjective. But yeah, your team's screwed and it's all your fault. So put it that way.
Yeah.
Kill
I'm no coward.
No. That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh, the McCree can hit their shots.
All right. So what should we be doing right now? You tell me.
Ooh.
Right now, what should we be doing? Think about what we've been talking about this entire VOD.
Falling back.
Falling back, giving space. And why is that important, say, right now?
Because the Reaper's dead. Big chunk of damage, and they have numbers on us. And
well, they have big. It's just a big chunk of damage. And honestly, right now, like, look how much DPS is in front of you right now. Like, you don't need this. You don't need this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be here. Like, you're not on attack. You don't have to close the space for your DPS. Like, you're just you don't need to be here. And now you definitely don't want to be here.
Okay, so this is right here was a fatal flaw. I was going for him, but I had like flanker mindset.
I mean, if you can charge out, I assume you're charging out of here.
Yes, and I try to carry the D.Va with me.
I mean, this is just capitalizing on ranked ladder failures. You'll get away with this in the ladder. You'll never get away with this in the higher tiers. But I mean, whatever. Oh no, that's unlucky. That charge expired, didn't?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Why are you a complete idiot here? Tell me.
I'm shielding when there's a Reinhardt right there.
Yeah, but why is that bad? Is he really a threat though?
No.
Oh, but yes, he is.
Okay. Yeah, because he's pushing my back.
But tell me, why is he a threat? He's not normally a threat, but why is he a threat now?
He has the Zen orb on him?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Think about what...
He's behind my team, or he's behind my shield, so he can like have live Earth Shatters.
Oh, he absolutely has Earth Shatter. Has he used Earth Shatter yet?
No, he has Earth Shatter. Yeah.
That's your That's the only ult you really have to. That's the only ult you really have to track as a plat Rhine, is Earth Shatter. And I guess he just didn't see it or didn't want to use it because he had a wide open shot. You are crazy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm insane.
I saw that charge.
There it is.
I mean, that was useless. I don't think he shattered anybody, honestly.
I got my ult though, so just if we can land or shatter it, just easy to.
We don't.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason why is just because we kept trying to hold space that wasn't there. Like, again, like if we come back here, what kills all of you guys? I mean, I don't know where he is, right? But you're at such a close. Like if the Reinhardt is, or the McCree, let's say, is here. So I'm gonna draw a little bit off screen so you can see. And our shield is here, right? And here, okay. The McCree still has sight lines in here, and over our shield, and here, and here. Anybody that's around here.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is if our teammates are kind of scattered here, right? Just get them the group up and back your shield up to them, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the arrows. I have no idea how to use Vice.
It's okay.
So like again, we're just holding space that we can't hold. Like you can't just hold out in the middle of nowhere here. You know, like you're putting a ton of pressure on your supports and your DPS to play very, very aggressive in proximity when you don't really want to do that, right? We've been running a Tracer, we've been running a McCree. We talked about controlled aggression, but we're not ever controlling it. We're just on the gas the entire time, and you're demanding a lot of healing as well. And that's not really fair on your supports either, especially when it looks like you're running solo support. I mean, think about what would have happened if he just played back a little bit and lived a little longer. You know what I'm saying? You could have had Shatter. Your soldier was on what looked to be a pretty cool flank. I mean, like, you just got to give your teammates time to be effective and not force plays on your own, because that's all we've been doing is trying to force our offensive Reinhardt plays, which not only is that bad teamwork, but that means that we are... If we don't make the plays, then we just make sure our teammates don't, because the way we position ourselves is ineffective unless we go big. And we haven't been able to go big every single time. And also, as a solo support, you can't do that with solo support. You just can't. I mean, we died with what? I mean, I don't even know how many ultimates. If we had just waited a little bit longer and protected our teammates a little bit better. I mean, we had here, we had, what is this, Soldier? No, Zarya. You've got your Shatter. Like, I mean... You can't...
Team fights.
Yeah, you win team fights. And, like, it's not just that fight there, but at least 2 fights before that we threw.
Oh. Got a headshot on.
So this is something like... Should I have gone off the ramp?
No.
Or is this...
No.
Okay.
I mean, you've got...
So they had high ground.
I mean, you have... Somebody's got to push payload, right?
Yeah.
And you want somebody preferably to push payload who can protect themselves while they do it. Because even though it is a pretty large structure, it is, you know, they can still damage you from it, especially when they're, you know, all there. Let your DPS go high ground and pressure them, and you just push payload. And, you know, you'll be all right. Like, this is why this positioning is dumb, is because, I mean, like, what's protecting them right now?
Sheer force of will.
Yeah, sheer force of will and platinum console aim. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is protecting them right now. So that's their mistake, their error. You just... Okay. I was about to praise you on being a little bit better. Do you see, like this right here, like this moment right here, we need to go... Oh crap, give up space.
Yeah.
You do it just a hair too slow.
But I swung.
Hair too slow.
I'm taking a bunch of damage. Okay, McCree got behind me.
Just a hair too slow. Okay, and your mercy is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's plat. There you go.
Love it. Love it. Love that charge. Why do I love that charge? Tell me why.
Short distance, I can't really get out of position from it.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Full health as well. That's how it's done. Good fire strike. It's lucky you got booped.
Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a great fire strike. It's just, like I said, just barely missed. Go get her. Go get her. Okay, never mind.
I heard the Junkrat.
Yep, good call. I was wrong. Good work. What? Oh.
It was worth it.
Kind of was worth it, honestly.
I got
Yeah.
trapped.
In a language. There you go.
Random trap.
Ouch.
Oh God, Zarya, you're...
That's why I don't miss a counter charge. And honestly, you really didn't even need to go in there. So, like, what I would have done here is... What I would have done... This is, like, perfect world here. Ready? You want to throw a fire strike. Is there anything wrong with throwing a fire strike here?
I don't really think so.
No, not
on
really.
First glance.
Not really. But if you've got a tunnel here... Okay, so let's just say this is the tunnel here. That's a beautiful tunnel. You were positioned here. Do you need to be... Oh my gosh. We're gonna do this again. I can't. I honestly, it hurts my eyes to such a level. Okay, so tunnel is here, right? We were here. Did we need to be here to throw a fire strike this way?
No, we just need to be
here.
at the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happens then if that same thing happens that the Reinhardt just did, and we step forward, we fire strike, right? And then Reinhardt
Yeah.
charges us under the same circumstances, but we're here instead.
If we're in the back, then I can just sidestep that dude and then start swinging
Would you really want to
and,
swing
and
though?
charge. I'll charge him.
You
but
charge him right back.
Yeah.
He comes flying in.
swinging,
You're like,
swinging was a term,
right?
not
No,
an action.
right. Okay, and then you're just gonna be like, oh, hi there, right? Free damage, and then even then, you're still within line of sight of your supports. You still have an escape route, and you've just put what 300, 350 damage on him. So
Yep.
yeah, there you go.
Random trap.
The Zarya tries to save my mistakes, but
Also, mistake here. What is your mistake? Right.
I go up the ramp,
Yes. Do not run to your supports.
positioning. That's even like another 3 seconds of cover they can't even come to me with. It's terrible.
Oh no,
Flank cart.
you threw.
Okay, that's a team fight.
I did.
That's a team fight right there.
Upon reflection, it is crazy to see how many team fights that I was responsible for us losing by my aggression.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, hang on.
I need to send an apology letter to these people.
Hang on. There you go. That's good. Top.
With the arrow, of course.
Yeah. Oh no, you called me out, and then I see how it is.
Behind you guys, so I saw him ult, but I didn't get a chance to stop him.
Oh, jeez.
Oh jeez.
It's okay. It's a tough target to hit.
All right, so I see the Moira ult, and that's what makes me feel like I can be aggressive.
Sure. I don't have a problem with it. That's 140 HPS. Whatever.
Oof,
Whatever.
that's a lot of the.
I will say that I would at least take a brief moment to kind of see if you can locate where that thing is, because you obviously can fire strike that. In fact, I got one on a comp day before yesterday, which is pretty crazy if I do say so myself. I'll have to send that one up.
Yeah.
But there, you can do it, just so it's worth like taking a glance at it, because especially in lower tiers, people are very, very straightforward with it.
Chakra's down.
Okay, let me critique, because I don't know how this happened, but we have no shield.
I think it's just a lot of spam damage from the Junkrat inside. Yeah.
Going down. Shield's going down.
Yeah.
Okay, so my
Yeah.
question for you is, what could we have done to save our shield better, or to get more value from our shield? Just
Possibly just not use it and then kind of line of sight them.
maybe don't overthink this. It's pretty basic. Think like
Just drop it every now and then and take some heals.
that's not a bad thing per se, but just like that's still too advanced. Just look at our movement here. I want you to watch your feet.
Okay.
Watch your feet.
Shield's going down. Shield's going down.
Okay, what did you do?
I
Let me draw.
moved sideways. I circled around. I just went
You
everywhere.
didn't really go anywhere. So
I played shield bot for a little bit.
Yeah, you played shield bot, right? And
Yeah.
you didn't close space. You didn't shield mounts. You just kind of stood there and danced around. So that is in of itself going to make your shield uptime much lower, because the time where you're going to get to a position where you don't have to shield as much, you can kind of swing a little bit more, is going to take a lot longer to set up. And with spam damage, especially with like compositions like Orisa, it's about closing that distance and as fast as possible through using cover, high ground, Zarya bubbles, whatever, and specifically for you, shield bouncing, and just walking forward. So you guys get a huge pick. I would probably fire strike that first, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just a minor thing. Good fire strike. Beautiful. You guys win. Okay, so I want you to tell me right here what you're doing wrong here.
I'm shielding when we don't need it at all, and I should be letting my shield recover.
Right. And honestly, like, look who's in front of you right now. It's not
Sorry.
so much. It's not so much about letting your shield recover. It's just about finishing these guys off, making sure they don't escape.
Yeah.
Like, do not let them escape.
Yeah.
She's going for a res. There we go.
Like, unfortunately, D.Va's got her mech back. Well, thankfully, D.Va is just going to drop and point and give you guys more ult charge, but, most D.Vas are not that respectful.
Hey, she's dying on point. She's doing the right thing.
Maybe. Why would you say dying in point here is not really the best option? What does she have?
Oh,
She has a mech.
did she have? Oh,
She has,
I mean that's true.
She has mech. She could fly out.
Yeah.
So there's a way out to the
Yeah.
right side, and none of you guys have mobility to chase that down, so she probably would have escaped. In fact,
Yeah.
almost certainly would have escaped.
And she had high ground already too. Yeah, she could have got there.
But whatever.
Go back up here.
I like what we're doing here.
Yeah, taking space, trying to stop the recontest.
Yeah, just like, and you're already up 2.
To the left.
So I would just be like, find that Junkrat. I'd also be a lot more aggressive, a lot less passive with my shield here. So like, I would be like almost dropping my shield and only selectively shielding because they don't have a sniper, so you don't need to hard shield. You just need to walk around. You need to locate that Junkrat and you need to get as close to him as possible. And if he's in a bad position, like right here, go kill him. Like go swing the hammer and kill him. Like
He felt too far away, but I guess he's not.
right. And I like, and look at yourself here. Like, what is a threat to you right now?
Nothing.
Nothing's a threat to you right now. There's like not even if they have like a McCree, he's gonna do like 30 damage a shot. Like it would take like a ridiculous amount. It's like just fire strike, collect, hold space. Like just that's an unfortunate fire strike. But like just like, and the problem with that is, and this is why this is a problem. Tell me why this is before we just crazily charge. Why is what we did the last 10 seconds going to be a problem now?
I have no shield health for any kind of like push.
It's not
Like
so much that you have no
that.
shield health, but you're basically right. You have half a shield when nothing was really blocked. Nothing of value was really blocked. And now the Mercy is back, we assume. The D.Va's, obviously back. So now when we need it, we got none of it, right? I mean, I'm honestly like I would have liked us to be at full health, but I don't really have a problem with that. We know he's gonna flashbang us, so that kind of stinks. But like, if he whiffs his flashbang or does it early, like he's screwed. Like he can't get away.
Yeah.
So whatever. Ooh, boy, that's no good. Okay. I don't.
That's my aggro mindset. I shouldn't really have to worry about the Junkrat behind.
Actually, I would say 100%. Why?
Okay. Well, he's the biggest source of their damage, but I was just thinking.
Oh no!
Maybe it would be better.
Biggest source of the damage. Also, I messed up. But also biggest source of the damage. But what's another thing that we have seen from? Let's watch our kill. Let's watch the enemy team. What's going on right now?
They're backing up.
They're backing off, right?
Yeah.
They're backing off, and look where your little juicy squishies are. Right here. This guy is a threat. I don't have a problem with it at all.
So protecting the team from the highest
source is the biggest threat, and that is something that will take you a long time to figure out. But once you do, you'll be able to make huge plays like that, and your supports will love you. He is going to have Shatter soon, if not already.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we
it was on cooldown.
I mean,
I didn't need it though.
I don't know if you needed it, but it wasn't wasted. I'll put it that way. It wasn't a bad shatter.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad shatter at all.
I've kind of reevaluated, even though I do go for fat shatters, like I've tried to get the mindset that if we win the team fight that I shattered in, it wasn't the worst.
Correct. Like that team fight, if they had blown an ult or done something crazy, then you guys could have lost. But you just basically denied them that opportunity. So I do not have a problem with that shatter. Do not have a problem with it at all. Nice, sorry, Bubble.
He heard high noon and he was just like, "Oh, I have to get this."
Yep.
It's like when I play Zen and I hear a soldier ult, I have to fight myself to just click triangle for ult. See, I'm peeking here, but I'm not Brigitte, so I don't know why.
Okay, so a couple things. Hang on a second here. So I do like this. I'm a big fan of, and you'll find a lot of high-level Reinhardts do this as well. They try and hold corners in front of the payload. And this is especially true on attack. Because if you guys fight here, why is this good for you? There's two things specifically. One of them is going to be pretty advanced, but can you tell me at least one of the things of why fighting here is good? Ignore the payload. Just think about this position as a whole. Like what is it about this corner that makes this good? Like don't think too advanced. Like
okay, well I mean I have cover if my shield drops,
right?
And I have my healers have vision of me.
Yep.
So I'm not in that much danger. I have an escape.
Yep, and that's the biggest one. You have an escape towards your spawn, right? So you're not going to have to cross open space to get to full cover. And what's happening right now up here?
We are getting 3 push, so I'm creating space enough they're not contesting.
Right. So what happens if you lose this fight? Is the payload still at the door, or is this payload basically on this
It's
corner.
pretty far.
It's pretty
It's
far.
on the
So
corner.
every little bit counts. So if you could take fights in front of the payload and the payload continues to move as your supports provide support to you, then that's optimal. That's kind of what you want to be doing. It's sometimes tricky in places where there is no corner, but always be looking for opportunities to do that. I don't like this.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of tools to dealing with Riptide. You've got your Fire Strike. Obviously, it's on cooldown now, but you can kind of whip your shield around. So just charging and leaving your team to die, not a fan of that.
My futile thought process was to separate myself from the clump.
Right, but that doesn't help because they
could still die.
They can I mean, and honestly, your Mercy dying here is already a lost fight. So either you shut down the Riptire or you take it and you get rezzed. But running off by yourself is now. Thankfully, that Junkrat is dumb as a rock. That is not good. Now what? Now I want you to tell me what's about to happen from their enemy Reinhardt.
He's gonna shatter.
He's gonna shatter.
He hasn't shattered in a long time, man. Tracking physical.
You
got it. You got it. You got it.
I knew he was gonna do it. I knew he was gonna do it. And tell me why I knew he was gonna do it.
Because I was not in front of our team.
Nope.
I was on the other side of the payload.
Well,
he hadn't used it in a while.
He hadn't used it in a while.
And the Moira's ulting?
The Moira's ulting.
Is that why?
Moira's ulting.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest trigger to play aggressively. I mean, you try it. Well, you just said it earlier. Moira ults, you want to go, right? And I knew he was going to shatter. So, just like I said, the only ult tracking is hard. And it's certainly not the first thing you need to work on. Our charging into the enemy backline would be a first. But, you got to know that that's going to happen. Now, thankfully, that nothing dies. Great shot from your McCree. Be careful. Be very, very careful. Oh, man. That is...
Yeah.
He's one shot. Oh, shit.
This is...
Chaos.
Game-losing mistake from you.
Nice heals.
Okay, so Junkrat's behind. Your McCree makes a great play. Do you need to force a play right here?
No.
What has happened in the last 2-3 seconds? Well, I'll say
They've
5
used
their
shatter.
They've used their coalescence. And what has happened in the kill feed with all those ults committed?
All that just the Junkrats did.
They have used a bunch of ults and they've lost somebody, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to win this team fight? If you didn't see the next 15 seconds, are you going to win this team fight?
Absolutely, we are.
Absolutely. Okay. So what would prevent them from taking this? So what should you do right now?
Shield, because I'm low health and I didn't even know it. I'm getting healed, so I feel like I'm invincible, but I'm not.
Shield and just charge your health back up and then pummel them. Absolutely pummel them.
Yeah. Provided even better by the hindsight of grab coming in.
I mean, look at that. That is you could have shattered, you could have grabbed. If you had simply hard shielded, you could have just absolutely it would have been. If
this D.Va bomb kills anybody behind me, it's so.
I mean, regardless of the D.Va bomb, because you were so aggro, you die. Watch what happens. You die, the soldier dies, and the soldier's behind you. So that means that your shielding would have not only kept you alive, but would have kept the soldier alive. Then let's see what else happens. D.Va bomb kills your Mercy, so that's 3 of you that are at fault. And I assume that there's not going to be any follow-up here. Yeah. So that's not only 2 ults wasted, but you lose the team fight. So that was a collision of ultimates. Because you fed, you lose the fight. To think about this. If you had shielded, you would have won the fight without even shattering, and 3 of your teammates would still be alive.
She used every single bullet I think her mech had to offer. Okay, can we push point?
Now your Zarya is really high charge, so she's probably going to be able to put in some work. But the payload's still not moving.
Where's that Junkrat?
Yeah.
You still have not won the team fight. And you fed them a ton of ult charge, so that Junkrat's almost certainly going to have Riptire pretty soon.
That was a bad charge.
Yeah. Why was it a bad charge?
Because I put myself straight up into hey, shoot me position right in front of their soldier. Right next to Ryan.
But there's something that makes this charge even worse. Tell me about it. Look carefully on this.
People are both my supports are dead.
Correct. So can you play this aggressively at all?
Absolutely not.
No, you cannot.
No, sir, Judge. I plead the fifth.
All right. So what's the play now? What's the play?
Back up.
Yeah.
And I have no idea in this game that my supports are dead. I'm that tunnel visioned.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And what did I call? Listen.
Fire in the hole.
There it is.
That's what I hear every night before a nightmare.
Yep. That is the nightmare.
And I keep on blaming my deaths on that D.Va, but she's not the reason I'm getting killed. I'm the reason I'm getting
you're
killed.
the reason you're getting killed. Like, you have double main support now. Like, Moira Mercy is such a ridiculous amount of healing. I mean, and again, like, you're not there, so guess what? Junkrat spam catches your Mercy, and your Reinhardt, the enemy Reinhardt shatters your entire team, and you're dead. Oh, wow. You got bubbled. Oh, no, you got flashbang.
Yeah.
Flashbang saved you.
Junkrat's up top
Again, can you really push this?
No.
So why are we charging?
For the sweet satisfaction and misguided idea that charge against the Moira was going to carry.
Right. But I just like consistently see us trying to carry points in matches when we didn't need to. And like, look how brawly and messy this fight has been. All it takes is for one of your teammates to just stop being stupid, and this includes you, and you guys would win this fight. That's all it. Oh my gosh, what a meme. Okay.
I'm like the quarterback who only throws deep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I hate people. I hate people like you. I hate people like you. I'm playing on a flag football team this year. Actually, 2 flag football teams, and like
I did that in college.
Yep, and
I loved it.
I played a lot of football in high school, and I'm playing flag football right now, and our QB, like, we have like outside of, like, I'm pretty fast, but outside of me, our team is like the slowest, clunkiest bunch of guys. But we win every game by like 40 points because our QB literally just takes easy throws like the entire game.
Yeah.
And people wonder, like, how are you guys so good? I'm like, dude, we're not even that good. We just take the easy
High
throws.
percentage throws.
High percentage throws. And so that's what something you need to be thinking about is just taking high percentage plays. Like, don't force anything for any reason. Unless you guys are like down a couple and like you're already like losing the fight, then you either get out or you get aggressive. But I mean, this is look at there.
Desperation.
Coalescence into a shatter.
Yeah.
That looks
predicted.
That looks familiar.
Yeah.
We don't really want to be here.
I can't see
just hug the
people
payload.
who are next to me. I just saved my shield, but people still died.
That was partially, so that wasn't exactly your fault, but I don't think we should have been positioned here. We should have been positioned behind the payload. Like, you don't, you need to
take unnecessary damage.
Yeah, just let your respawns come back in. You guys are up 1. I mean, that's whatever.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Let's do something a little bit differently. You're a smart guy. You tell me.
Thank you.
What do you need to work on? You've heard everything. Like if you could pinpoint 1 or 2 things, because there's probably, I would say there's definitely 1 or 2 things that stood out. What would you say they were that you need to practice?
The things that have left an impression on my mind from this review have been monitoring. Number 1, monitoring my own health much better, because I'm getting aggressive when I don't have the health to afford it.
Yep.
And the other would be keeping a better eye on the kill cam to see my numbers for my team.
I would 100% agree with that. So our mechanics are good. Even like our basic understanding of how to play Reinhardt isn't bad. It's just that we're constantly playing Reinhardt one way. Like you said, pre-VOD, like you said, we're very set into one gear, and we don't want to mold out of that gear regardless of like what's happening down here or what's happening down here, and you need that information to dictate. And so it's going to take some practice, but I would 100% agree. Do you have any questions?
No, there's a hypothetical question I have. So people, it's the flavor of the month right now for Ryan Zarya, right? So I almost always have a Zarya, and I know that she enables aggression with the bubble. She provides me with the safety net. But under the off chance that the person I'm playing with, for instance, one of my best friends, he does not play Zarya, he plays D.Va. And I was wondering, how would my game state, like positioning and like idea of my role change it all with a D.Va compared to a Zarya?
Well, let me tell you right off the bat. You tell me, what does D.Va provide that Zarya does not?
High ground.
Okay, high ground
contesting.
Control. So you can be afford to give more space because your D.Va can aggressively punish people out of position better. Okay. Now there's one other thing, like looking at it from a very basic standpoint, that D.Va does better than Zarya, especially early in fights. And what's that?
Contribute damage?
Yes. So talking back to one of our 3 things that we talked about with Reinhardt was controlled aggression, right? Winning the shield battle, and waiting for picks. Which one of those 3 would you probably play if you had a D.Va instead of a Zarya?
Waiting for picks.
Nope.
Or shield battle. Shield battle.
Shield battle,
Yeah.
because rockets
she can spam
plus yep, exactly. Her cannons provide a lot of shield pressure, and it's constant.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to reload. The massive shield that Reinhardt has means that he's going to be taking full on it. So you can let your D.Va bit shield pressure and close distance, and you're going to win the shield battle usually. In addition, she can also defense matrix selectively against projectiles like Junkrat mines and grenades and fire strikes, and can actually help you take less damage on your shield as well. So you are correct in that it is harder to be aggressive with a D.Va, but there are advantages to D.Va, and so you'll have to play a little bit more passively, but you'll probably win the shield war if you're running a D.Va instead of a Zarya. So
Okay.
anyway, any other questions?
Sweet. No, that's good. This felt like a really, really good review, man.
Well, good. You're doing it like it was. I was impressed with your Reinhardt in some aspects and unimpressed with others. But I think like when we talked about what you need to work on, you have a grasp of how to play the class. You just need to like work on getting your like awareness. But that's what
Game
once
sense.
Yep. Once you do that, I think you'll improve significantly. All right.
All right.
That will be.
Sweet.